Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my adventures in Vietnam in the Army. This is Saturday, May 23rd. This is going to be Chapter 3, Episode 2 of my Vietnam adventure. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. This is actually take 2 of this episode. I tried to shoot here last Thursday night in the dark, and I set up and I wanted to have the lights in the background and nice dark view in the background, and couldn't pull it off. So I did the whole program, and I just couldn't see the words on the page. So I stumbled over the words, long pauses. You can see my eyes wandering around. And it was just simply that I could not see the writing on the pages. So I did the whole program, looked at it. It didn't work out very good. So here's a little sample of that so you can see what I'm talking about. My biggest job so far has been taking care of the Jeep, which has included a lubrication job complete and one flat tire. I also have to clean it every day and keep it gassed up. So let's get on with it. This new episode is I met Vietnam. I've been there a week or two, and I'm starting to write home about it, and just to give my folks the flavor of what was happening to me over there, and that's where we're at. So this first letter, April 29th. 1966. Dear Mom and Dad, I've been here about a week and things seem to be okay. The first 3 or 4 nights I had to sleep in an old Army canvas cot, but I acquired a steel bunk from the Chaplain's office. The weather is nice right now compared what is ahead, so I've heard. They say that in the summer it gets up to 130 degrees in the daytime in the shade, and at night it gets down to a cool 100 or so. Then in the fall monsoon season hits and everything is wet all the time. It will be windy, cool, and wet for 4 months. I hope I can survive the weather here. I made private first class yesterday. That means about a $20 raise in my base pay, which will mean that over here I will get about $190 per month. I've set it up so that I keep only $40 per month to spend, and the rest goes directly into my checking account at my bank. So I surely should save some money that way if I ever need money to buy something I want and don't have enough money for it. I will send you a check and have you send me a money order. The food here is pretty good so far, and they usually show a movie within walking distance of our company. I remember a little bit about the mess hall. It seemed like there was a limitation of the food that they could get, so we had a lot of the same stuff over and over again. I think breakfast was probably the best part. If you know what SOS is, that was my favorite, and we had that. So we had some fresh stuff, but mostly it was packaged, not very good. After supper I usually get into some comfortable clothes, go down to the beach and look at the water, the mountains, and the ships in the harbor. Sometimes I go swimming to cool off if it's warm. After dark, I either go to the movie or back to my bunk to read a book or write a letter. I'm making friends fast and have no enemy. I'm sure that it will become a way of life to me soon, and time will pass fast. There are some things I would like to have sent to me, if you could see your way clear to. I would like to have a cheap thermometer that would register up into the 130s at least, and I would like to have a pair of Bermuda shorts. I need a map of the world also, so I can study this part of the world better. We have local maps, but no world maps. If you do send me this stuff, you can send it regular parcel post to my APO number, and it will come airmail from San Francisco, as long as it weighs under 5 pounds. I would also appreciate if you slipped in some candy of the type that wouldn't melt in the heat. We can't get candy too readily here. My memory of what we did after work is kind of faded, but apparently you could wear civilian clothes and go to the nearby little clubhouse for non-commissioned officers, and could get drinks there. I don't know if they had beer or not, but I didn't drink beer at the time. Get drinks and just a little camaraderie, and that was in walking distance. So I have pictures that show me in civilian clothes, so apparently that was the case. And it was hard to get stuff. You just couldn't go out and buy what you needed, and that's why I had to have stuff sent from home. You just can't get it. It's funny the different perspective you get about things when you're faced with the experience I am now. When I was at Fort Ord, I would have done anything to be at home in Corpus. Now that I'm here, I would do anything just to be anywhere in the States, and it would feel like home. But I know this is all in my mind, and is my mind's excuse to think of more pleasurable places to be. We tend to remember only the good parts of being at home or the job we had before. And actually, I don't have it so bad here, at least so far, and it's only 12 months and I'll be home. There's a chance that I might move to the 39th Engineering Battalion after a month here. The spot I am in calls for an E5 grade, and they need at least an E4 to fill it, so he could have a chance of becoming an E5. And the 39th job calls for either a private first class or a specialist 4, and this is where I fit. Actually, I was an E3 at the time, so I was a private first class, I guess, E3. I would be giving up only the good living conditions I have now and all the friends I have made, and I would be closer to the fighting. Doesn't sound like that's too good, does it? No, I didn't want to go. I can tell you that. Pretty cushy where we were at Cam Ranh Bay at the group headquarters, and conditions were good, considering. I'm going to try to get stationed at Fort Ord when I leave here, so I can be in California and can get to know the place a little better than I do now. I will only be there for 4 months, though. Wasn't that terrible about those GIs who were killed in the Oklahoma crash? We were shocked to hear about it over here. We get the news about 2 days late around here, but to us it's still news. The main paper we get is called the Stars and Stripes, and it is printed in Japan, so I'm not sure of its accuracy, especially about the Vietnam situation. And we kind of figured that there was some spin being put on stuff, and we didn't really trust the news. There was no open way to get news. Eat quickly, get it from home sometimes, but you weren't sure about it, and it was a strange situation, but we were aware of it, and it wasn't like it was unusual or anything. You probably hear something about Cam Ranh Bay once in a while in the papers there in the States, and if you do, let me know about it. There are about 15,000 men stationed here now, and it is beginning to be a bustling place. There are a few paved roads, and the engineers are building a 4-lane highway between here at my office and where I live, which will be real nice because the road now is deep sand, which requires 4-wheel drive to get through. As soon as I get some pictures developed, I'll send them to you. This is an interesting place, and I'm sure I will see many changes in the next year here. They have stepped up the building progress so as to beat the monsoon season's arrival. Jeff Boudreau is either on his way over or is already somewhere in Vietnam on one of these boats that are already here. And if I could find out the name of the ship, I might be able to go out and see him. Try and find out what ship he is on and where it is supposed to go if you can. My biggest job so far has been the taking care of the Jeep, which has included a lubrication job, complete, and one flat tire. I have to clean it up every day and keep it gassed up and in good condition. So far, it's taken me about 2.5 or 3 hours a day on the Jeep. I drive it a little too. I also have done some typing and filing. That's all from here for now. Love, Donnie. So that was my starting place, and second letter home actually, and then goes on through. This letter is to my sister and brother-in-law, Jean and Johnny Cotton. Dear Jean and Johnny, this is 6th of May, '66. I have been here in Vietnam now for about a week. I'm at Cam Ranh Bay, about 140 miles northeast of Saigon. This is the safest place in Vietnam to be, and I am glad. I am a chaplain's assistant for Captain Gans, that's G-A-N-Z, who is Lutheran and who is head of all the chaplains in the 35th group. 35th group was engineering, and they did all the infrastructure, roads, built all the billets, runways at airports. They went out into the jungle and built camps for people that are heading out to fight the war. So it was a big group, and they had a big job to do. My job consists of typing letters, taking care of the chaplain's library of paperback books, and care and cleaning of our Jeep. It is very hot here, getting hotter every day. Well over 100 in the afternoons. It cools off some at night, especially if there's a breeze. We have had rain the last 2 days, and the tent leaks over my bunk. And I have been sleeping in a wet bunk. One thing about the rain is nice though, and that is cool when it's raining. Cam Ranh is truly a pretty place and is located close to the South China Sea. The water is a beautiful blue. Thick green undergrowth covers the mountains which rise from the bay. There are always many ships out in the harbor, and one of them is the U.S. Navy ship Corpus Christi Bay from Radmac and Corpus Christi, the helicopter repair ship, over to repair helicopters. I might know some people on that ship, but I don't know how to contact them. Jeff Boudreau is over here on a ship also, and I hope I get to see him. He is a civilian on a civilian ship as an office clerk and making good money. So I got my first letter today since I've been here, and it was from Charlie Ulrich. I have written home several times, but haven't received an answer as yet. I realize that it takes time to get mail across such distances, though, and I'm not impatient as yet. Living conditions here aren't as bad as yet, or at least I haven't gotten tired of the way I have to live yet. When it is nice in the evenings, I might stroll down to the beach. We're about 150 yards from the water, and take a refreshing swim after dinner. After the swim, I usually read or write letters. Sometimes I get a Coke at the club down the road, or head for the movies, which we have about 4 nights a week. I've read 3 books since I've been here, and this has been the first time I've read books for pure enjoyment. I haven't been doing enough letter writing as I should, but I am beginning to write more now. I feel more like writing when I get some in return. My new address is PFC, that's Private First Class, Flint, my number, HHC 35th Engineer Group, APO, San Francisco, 96312. Although it isn't too bad here, I'm sure I will become very tired of this place in a few months, and I'll want to get back to the States. I'm saving about $140 a month. I'm here, so I'm sure I'll be happy when I return to the States. If you have any questions about Vietnam or what I'm doing, just let me know, and I will try to answer them. Love, Donnie. That was cool. 7th of May, I wrote, Dear Mom and Dad, I got your letter last night dated May 1st. I was glad to hear that Mom was out of the hospital and was feeling okay. I hadn't heard anything since the 15th of April. It was nice of you to go to Corsicana too. My mom, right after I left for Vietnam, I don't know if it was the stress or what, but my mom had a stroke, a mild stroke, and was put in the hospital. They protected me by not letting me know too much about it, and so I wouldn't be panicky and have to leave and go back home. So that was good, and she ended up getting over it. From the papers, it sounded like you got an awful lot of rain around there. We've been getting some rain in the evenings, and my bed got wet 2 nights in a row. But the third night, I maneuvered my bed to place between the leaks in the tent. When it rains here, it really rains. It is cooler, though, due to the rain. You might as well keep my driver's license and DMLA card until I get home. The driver license will be expired when I get home anyway. And over here, I use military driver's license. If I send you anything home, you may open it and put it away for me. Don't be surprised at what I send home. If you have to pay any duty on anything, keep track of it so I can reimburse you later. As soon as I can get to the camera I'm looking for to give to Dad, I will send it home by mail, and I probably will pay duty, but it's still a tremendous savings and is the best chance to get an excellent camera. Please tell me when you are going on your trip east so I can try to get it to you before you go. There is really not much to tell you because I don't do much more than work, eat, and sleep. Kind of like what we're doing right now during the shutdown. Coronavirus. I'm reading quite regularly, and I am keeping up with things through Time magazine, which we get about 4 days after you get it in the States. I still haven't gotten the misplaced mail, one of the items of which is the slides of home and back to Oakland. I got my first slides back today, and they cover my trip from Oakland to Cam Ranh Bay. There is something I would appreciate very much if you could see your way clear to do it, and that is to send me about once a month, no more than that, one of my favorite car magazines, so I won't lose track of what's going on. If you could do it, the ones I would be interested in would be Motor Trend, Car Life, Road and Track, Sports Car Graphic, or Car and Driver. I think the only ones that are still going is Road and Track, Motor Trend, and Car and Driver. Any of these would be perfect. Reading magazines helps keep my mind off what and where we are, and sure helps to boost our morale. Thank you very much, and don't forget to ask me questions if there's anything you're curious about. Love, Donnie. So that gets you caught up for a few letters. Like I say, I'm in the first couple of weeks of my stay in Vietnam, and of course it was all new to me then and just starting to work, and so it's going to be an interesting time. I thank you for watching. Keep watching. I got more coming. It gets a lot better in the future. I've read these letters and they are quite interesting, and things get hotter, both the war wise and job wise and weather wise. So thank you again. I'll be sure and like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.